कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमा देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्ठिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is entitled The Killing of the Demon Trinavarta. Text number 30. Pradaya Matre Pratihritya Vismitaha Pradaya Matre Pratihritya Vismitaha Krishnam Cha Tasyorasi Lambamanam Krishnam cha tasyorasi Lambamanam Tam Swastimantam Purushada Nitam Tam Swastimantam Purushada Nitam Vihayasa Mrityo Mukhat Pramuktam Vihayasa Mrityo Mukhat Pramuktam Gopyascha Gopaha Kila Nanda Mukhya Gopyascha Gopa Kila Nanda Mukhya Labdhva Punaha Prapur Ativa Modam Labdhva Punah Prapur Ativa Modam Pradaya Matre Pratihritya Vismita Krishnam cha tasyorasi Lambamanam Tam Swastimantam Purushadanitam Vihayasa Mrityu Mukhat Pramuktam Gopyascha Gopa Kila Nanda Mukhya Labdhva Punah Prapurativa Moda लब्ध्वा पुनः प्रापुरतीव मोदम् प्रादाय मात्रे प्रतिहृत्य विस्मिता कृष्णं च तस्योरसि लम्बमानम् सम्पस्तिमन्तं पुरुषादनीतं विहाय सा मृत्युमुखात् प्रमुक्तम् गोप्यश्च गोपा किल नन्दमुख्या लब्ध्वा पुनः प्रापुरतीव मोदम् प्रादाय. After picking up Matre unto his mother Yashoda, Pratihritya delivered, Vismitaha all surprised, Krishnam cha and Krishna, Tasya of the demon, Urasi on the chest, Lambamanam situated, Tam Krishna, Swastimantam endowed with all auspiciousness, Purusha Adanitam who was taken by the man-eating demon, Vihayasa into the sky, Mrutyumukhat from the mouth of death, Pramuktam now liberated, Gopyaha the gopis, Cha and Gopaha the cowherd men, Kila indeed, Nandamukhya headed by Nanda Maharaj, Labdhva after getting, Punaha again their son, Prapuhu enjoyed, Ativa very much, Modam bliss. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. The gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him, free from all inauspiciousness, to Mother Yashoda. Because the child, although taken into the sky by the demon, was unhurt and now free from all danger and misfortune, the gopis and cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, were extremely happy. Please repeat this translation after me. The gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him, free from all inauspiciousness, to Mother Yashoda, because the child, although taken into the sky by the demon, was unhurt and now free from all danger and misfortune. The gopis and cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, were extremely happy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The demon fell flat from the sky and Krishna was playing on his chest very happily, uninjured and free from misfortune. Not at all disturbed because of being taken high in the sky by the demon, Krishna was playing and enjoying. This is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. In any condition, Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. He has no unhappiness. Others might have thought that he was in difficulty, but because the demon's chest was sufficiently broad to play on, the baby was happy in all respects. It was most astonishing that although the demon went so high in the sky, the child did not fall down. Therefore, the child had been saved virtually from the mouth of death. Now that he was saved, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan were happy. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Jnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatare Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Hayadvaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhete girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Yat kripatamaham vande Paramananda Madhavam Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So this is a description of one of the Leelas of Krishna, the killing of the demon Trinavarta. What is interesting is Krishna did not have to kill him. He got killed. So what is this pastime that the demon got killed even without any endeavor by Krishna? That this demon, Trinavarta, the name itself is indicating that he came in the form of a whirlwind. And nobody could recognize that the whirlwind is not actually a natural calamity, but actually a demon who has come in the shape of the whirlwind. When modern people hear this, they'll think these are all mythological stories. First of all, they don't know demons exist in this world. There are people who are of demoniac nature. They are called demons. And there are people of divine nature. They are called devotees. And this Bhagavatam describes demon came in the form of a whirlwind. This is even more bewildering for the atheists. And this demon came to kill Krishna as arranged by Kamsa, the leader of those demons at the time of Krishna's appearance. Bigger demon. Kamsa is a bigger demon. So he's the leader of other demons. And the beginning of the 10th canto is the earth was overburdened by demons who were posing as if they were meant to rule over the citizens as kings in different provinces. But actually, they were not at all having any interest in actually protecting the citizens or taking care of the citizens. They were ruling for the sake of exploiting the citizens and enjoying their power, their wealth, like that. So, since Mother Earth is the mother of all the inhabitants of this earth planet, so Mother naturally be aggrieved that some mischievous, naughty, unruly children of hers are exploiting, harassing, giving trouble to some other children of hers. The Devatas, who are meant to give assistance to Mother Earth by actually curtailing these demons' miscreant activities, the Devatas were unable to do anything because these demons were very, 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 very powerful. The way this material world is created is that anyone, whether of demoniac nature or divine nature, can get some power, can get some mystic powers, some siddhis, by practicing yoga, Ashtanga yoga. And once they get these powers, the ones who are of divine nature will try to utilize it for the good of other people. Or the demons, their very nature is they want to trouble others, they want to exploit others. So the demons utilize that power they get, not utilize, misutilize, for giving trouble to the divine natured people, the devotees. And since time immemorial, the demons are always against the devotees. Why? Primarily because the demons are against Vishnu. That is actually the definition of a demon. Demon is not just somebody who is a troublemaker. No. Demon means, the definition is there in the scriptures. Vishnu bhaktas mruto daiva. Daiva means divine natured people. They are Vishnu bhakta. They are devotees of Vishnu. And asuras tad viparyayaha. And the demons, asura, opposite number of the sura, they are viparyayaha. They are just the opposite. That means they are not devotees of Vishnu. No, not devotees of Vishnu means they may be indifferent. No. They are against Vishnu. They are envious of Vishnu. And they're always planning, scheming, thinking how to kill Vishnu. And not only they are planning to kill Vishnu, they also want to kill the devotees of Vishnu, the devatas, the devotees, the saintly persons. So unnecessarily they will give trouble just because their heart is filled with enviousness. Heart is filled with all kinds of wicked qualities particularly against the devotees. And because devotees are always protected by Vishnu, so the demons, even though they attempt with all their might, all their powers to give trouble, they are generally unsuccessful in really giving trouble. Though sometimes it appears like the demons are successfully oppressing, troubling, harassing the saintly persons, the devotees, the devatas. Because this material world is conducted by the three gunas in accordance with the dictations of Kala. Kala, Guna. And according to Kala and Guna, there is karma. So Kala, Karma, Guna, or Kala, Guna, Karma is what determines people's enjoyment or suffering throughout the universe, all the planets, all the living beings. Especially the human beings, they are unable to understand why suffering is forced upon them. Why do they have suffering even though they never want suffering, they never work for suffering? They try to avoid all kinds of suffering, but they cannot completely avoid suffering. They cannot be completely free from dukkha, distress. So this is a mystery actually of this material world. And this mystery is resolved only for those who understand from the spiritual authorities or from the authentic scriptures, Vedic scriptures. What is this world? What is the cause of our suffering? So this is briefly explained in Bhagavad Gita and elaborately explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this demon, Trinavarta, he came in the form of a whirlwind. That is due to his mystic power. The demons who have this mystic power of changing the form, they can change their form. Form means the external material body, to any of some particular forms that they want to assume. And the purpose is simply to harass, to give trouble to the devotees. So when Kamsa found out that actually Vishnu himself has come in the form of this child, Krishna. So he decided this child, Krishna, who is Vishnu himself, should be killed. And because after all it's a small child, so he sent different demoniac associates, go and kill Krishna. So first the demons would think, why are we being sent with so much power to kill some small child? So there is a history that there was a prophecy that this child Krishna will be the cause of Kamsa's death. That's a prophecy. And then Kamsa tried to kill the child as soon as it was born, but mystically the child escaped. That's what is described in the earlier portions of this 10th canto. And Krishna later on learnt that the child is in Vrindavan, in the house of Nanda Maharaj. So he first sent Putana. Putana was killed. Of course, Putana was killed by Krishna. But Kamsa could not make out. Nobody could make out. Small child, what did she do? She just tried to feed him poison through her breast milk. And then she tried, that's all. And she's dead. And that too, she did not die inside the house of Nanda Maharaj, where she had gone to poison this child. She died outside in the pasturing ground. Kamsa was totally bewildered. He cannot understand what's going on. This child is destined to kill me or be the cause of my death, not killing. He understood that this child is the cause of his death. But then he discovers child is not only the cause of his death. Already the child is the cause of the death of one of his associates. Powerful associate. Putana. How did she die? How did she die? Total mystery for Kamsa. But demoniac nature is, they will not give up the idea of killing this child. So, he sent for another demon, Shakatasura. So then Shakatasura, the name itself indicates that he came in the form of Shakata, a cart, a bullock cart. And he was waiting there to kill Krishna. But before he could kill Krishna, Krishna just was lying down underneath that cart, which was actually a demon. Nobody knew that there's a demon in the shape of a cart. And then Krishna just raised his leg and kicked the cart. And the cart completely was, it became disassembled. All the parts fell apart of the cart. And that is the death of that demon Shakatasura. Krishna killed Shakatasura. But nobody could make out. The cart completely toppled just because Krishna just lifted his leg and just merely. Small child, very small child. So, what it can do to topple the cart? So, again, the cowherd men and the women were completely astonished. How did this cart fall apart? So they thought something inauspiciousness, some inauspiciousness, that the child was fortunately saved. So Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they called for Brahmanas and asked the Brahmanas to bless the child, to protect the child, to perform some rituals for special protection of the child. And the Brahmanas did their duty. And after that, Shakatasura was killed. Then this Trinavarta came. Shakatasura also unsuccessful. So then Trinavarta came. Trinavarta came in the form of a whirlwind, picked up the child, took him very high. But the child became very heavy. After he picked up the child and took the child very high, became as heavy as the whole universe. Then Trinavarta could not carry the child anymore. Now he decided now is the time to drop the child. So he tried to drop the child, but the child was holding on to Trinavarta's neck. Now, whirlwind, where is a question of neck? Actually, the real form of the demon is the form of a demon, a human-like form. But actually, this mystic yoga, they change their form externally. Externally, they change their form. So their body is as it is actually. Their form in which they are actually situated, that human-like form or demon-like form, that form is as it is. It is within the external form of the whirlwind. This is what you should understand. So, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He knows exactly what's happening. As a small child, this Trinavarta was carrying him. It was not the wind that was actually simply pushing up the child. No, it was Trinavarta who was carrying the child. So when he's carrying the child, he's holding the child like this. And Krishna's arms he put around the neck of that demon because he's holding like this. And Krishna firmly held on to the demon's neck. The demon began to feel the weight when Krishna increases weight. How did Krishna increase his weight? He has got mystic power also. He's the source of all mystic power. Yogeshwara. So when the weight became too much, the demon wants to now drop the child. But he cannot drop the child. Because Krishna is holding on to the demon's neck. Now, Krishna is so heavy, as heavy as the universe. So the demon, in matter of few moments, he came crashing down. He crashed on the ground on a stone slab. And because of the weight of Krishna, his body was smashed to pieces. Every limb was separated, scattered. Vishirna, that's a description in one of the previous verses. Vishirna sarva avayavam karalam. Ghastly. The scene was very ghastly. He fell dead. All limbs of his body scattered. And the bones are actually split into so many pieces. Because it was a mighty crash. And the gopis were searching for Krishna because the storm subsided after Trinavarta gave up his attempt to hold on to the child up in the sky as a whirlwind. Then when he is given up his attempt because he has to save himself, so in the form of the demon itself, he came crashing down. No more whirlwind. Whirlwind is all subsided. Over, finished. So the gopis are searching for Krishna. First Mother Yashoda began to cry, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? So she could not find Krishna. The other gopis heard Mother Yashoda crying. They came and asked, what's the matter? She said, Krishna is missing. They all started searching. They could not find Krishna. They also began to cry. So then they went searching. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? They suddenly came upon this slab of stone in the pasturing ground where this demon had crashed. And they saw Krishna is happily playing on the chest of the demon. So that's a description here by Srila Shukadev Goswami, that the gopis immediately picked Krishna up from the chest of the demon and delivered him free from all inauspiciousness to Mother Yashoda. They picked up the child and gave the child to Mother Yashoda. The child was just playing, and that Srila Prabhupada describes as Krishna was playing and enjoying. This is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. This is a description in the Brahma Samhita of Krishna's form. Two descriptions. One is Satchidananda Vigraha. And second description is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. So, Satchidananda Vigraha means the form of eternity, eternality, Satchit, full of knowledge, full of consciousness, and Ananda, full of bliss. So because Krishna's form itself is full of bliss, he's always blissful. That's a description in Vedanta Sutra. Anandamayo abhyasat. Absolute truth, full of ananda. Maya means overflowing. Filled and overflowing. Anandamaya. And therefore Krishna is always happy. Always blissful. And what about his devotees in the spiritual world? Or in the material world also? His devotees are also always blissful. They are also always blissful in association with Krishna. So not only Krishna is Anandamaya, Ananda Chinmaya Rasamaya. That Ananda, which is Chinmaya. Chinmaya means it's of a different quality. It's of the spiritual nature. We have experience of happiness in this world, material happiness. Material happiness, the characteristic described in the Bhagavad Gita. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayonaya evate. 5th chapter, Krishna describes what's the nature of material happiness. First of all, material happiness is always due to sense contact. Samsparshaja. Ja means that which is produced or born. Due to samsparsha, the contact of the senses with the sense objects. It produces a sensation which sometimes we interpret or we feel like it is happiness, pleasurable. And sometimes it is not pleasurable, it is distressful. So in any case, that which we think is pleasurable by sense contact, sensual happiness, indriya sukha, that is actually, Krishna says, samsparshaja bhoga. Bhoga means actually that which is enjoyable. So when we feel like the contact is very pleasing to our senses, then we think it is enjoyable. But then Krishna says, Dukkha-yonaya evate. It is actually the source of all your dukkha. What you think is enjoyable actually is not really enjoyable. It seems like it is enjoyable, but actually it is the source of all your miseries. Dukkha-yonaya evate. And then Krishna says, Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. Those who are Buddha, Buddha means intelligent people, conscientious people, wise people. They never take pleasure in the sense contact. Pleasure due to sense contact. They don't take pleasure in this. So, Srila Prabhupada explains, Krishna says, Nateshu ramate buddhaha. Ramate means they don't take pleasure in such enjoyment. Samsparshaja bhoga, the buddhaha, the wise people, were actually description of the devotees. Devotees don't take pleasure in sense contact. So, Prabhupada quotes another verse from the scriptures which says, Ramante yogino anante satyananda chidatmani. Iti Rama padena so param brahma bhidhiyate. So this verse says, the yogis or the devotees or the wise people, they take pleasure in chanting the name of the Supreme Lord, Rama. Rama, 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 Rama. And what kind of pleasure they get? Anante, unlimited pleasure they get. And Krishna says material happiness is of the nature of Adi Anta. It has got a beginning and an end. Actually, it lasts only a moment, that's all. Chapala Sukha, another description of material happiness is Chapala Sukha. It is just momentary happiness. Just like your experience, if you take a nice piece of sweet, place it on your tongue, the sensation of pleasure is just for that moment of contact, that's all. If you want more, you have to eat more. You have to eat more. And that also there is saturation. You cannot keep on eating more and more and more and more and derive more pleasure. Not possible. After some time it becomes nauseating. You cannot eat anymore. So that is the nature of material pleasure. Chapala Sukha. It's momentary. Always got a beginning and an end. And what is the nature of spiritual pleasure? Anante. Ananta. No anta. Neither there is any beginning for it. Why? Because Ananda, Satchidananda, the very nature of spirit or spiritual soul or Krishna is full of pleasure. So in the spiritual world, not only Krishna is full of pleasure, the devotees of Krishna, they are also full of pleasure. But that pleasure is not static pleasure. Just like sometimes you ask people, how are you? Somebody you ask, I'm happy. So they are in a happy state, not just momentary happiness, but generally they are happy. Because everything seems to be going fine. Everything is fine. Saukyana? In Kannada, this Saukyana? Yella Saukyana? Maje mein hai? Gujarati say, Majama cho. So these are all simply the effect of illusion, grand illusion. Majama cho is grand illusion. But there's another type of illusion where we think we are really suffering. We have cause for distress. We are in anxiety. We have fear. We have pain. We are suffering from loss. So many different experiences like that. So, Shastra says, dukkha yoni. It's simply dukkha only. Illusion is to consider dukkha sometimes as dukkha, but sometimes dukkha is considered sukha. That's because of a miscalculation, a misunderstanding, a misconception. That's what it is. So scriptures declare there is no happiness in this world at all. Bhagavad Gita says, Samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yoni. It's simply a cause of more suffering. Whereas the yogis, the devotees, those are wise people, ramante yogino anante, they derive unlimited pleasure from what? From chanting the name of the Supreme Lord. Namarasa, Namamrita, Namananda. This is the source of devotees' pleasure. Namananda. So this Namananda, the devotees merely have to vibrate their tongue and say, Krishna, Rama. And why is the Lord's name called Rama? That is this verse. Ramante yogino anante satyananda chidatmani. Because the nature of this vibration of the holy name of the Supreme Lord is Satyananda. It is eternal pleasure. Satyananda. Chidatmani, and it's of the nature of Chit. Chit means it is a spiritual quality of that pleasure, not Achit. Chinmaya rasa. Therefore, it is said here, Ananda Chinmaya rasa. And rasa means something more than just happiness or pleasure. Rasa is a mellow taste. This is the English translation of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada's guru actually. He translated this rasa. It's a technical term. Of course, you know rasa as the sweet fruit juice, rasa. Amras. So that is just a preliminary understanding of rasa. Rasa is actually the experience of a special taste of a loving relationship. This is a description in the Shastra. The mellow taste of the loving relationship, when there is exchange of love between Krishna and his devotee. And how does that exchange happen? When the devotee renders service to Krishna. Or sometimes the other way. When Krishna renders some service to his devotee. Then there is the exchange of rasa. Both Krishna derives pleasure when the devotee serves Krishna or Krishna serves the devotee. And similarly, the devotee also derives unlimited pleasure when Krishna serves the devotee or devotee serves Krishna. Either way. So this is Satyananda Chidatmani Chitsukha. Chitsukha. It is spiritual happiness. Chinmaya Rasa or Chinmaya Ananda. So that is different than material happiness. So the gopis, all the devotees in Vrindavan, they're constantly immersed in an ocean of Chinmaya Rasa, Chinmaya Ananda. Always. And the source of their Chinmaya Ananda is their interactions with Krishna. All the time they are thinking of Krishna, they are playing with Krishna, or they're just hearing about Krishna, or they're just engaged in some activity to please Krishna. Mother Yashoda is churning buttermilk, churning the curd to produce butter, and she's singing. This is the practice of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the women at least, the gopis. That when they're engaged in household activities or any sort of work, ordinary household work, they are always singing the descriptions of Krishna's Leelas. And Srila Prabhupada describes that they were expert in themselves constructing some poems. And that was not very strictly according to the grammatical rules and all. And they would simply keep on singing them while working. And they derive unlimited Chinmaya Ananda out of that. So their work, they were not conscious of what they are really doing. They're not really conscious so much. Simply they have to do some work, they do it. That's all. Merely as a duty. That's all. But the real pleasure is singing Krishna's glories, fondling Krishna, feeding Krishna, hearing Krishna speak. After all, a small child, will speak some broken language. So the gopis, the elderly gopis, when they hear Krishna speaking, because any mother, when she hears the child begins to speak, even broken language, mother gets a lot of pleasure. The child has started speaking very nicely. The child is speaking, whatever it's speaking. Mother will make sense out of it, even though actually child is not speaking anything sensible, but still. But in the case of Krishna, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, especially the elderly gopis, they used to derive so much pleasure when Krishna began to speak. And Krishna is speaking, something he's telling, but they're so happy to hear that. So everything about Krishna is Anandamaya. Whether he's walking, or he's talking, or he's lying down, or he's playing, or he's stealing butter. This is the mystery. That the gopis, when Krishna started stealing butter, when he grew up a little and started going around with his other friends, so he started stealing butter. So the gopis were thinking, why he has got to steal butter? So initially they would think, oh, it's fun to watch this child, butter smeared all over its mouth and is taken with some contraptions, climbed up and taken. Okay. So therefore, Krishna used to give pleasure through all his activities always gives that to all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, all the devotees in the spiritual world. And the devotees derive great pleasure even in serving Krishna or calling Krishna's name, anything, any interaction with Krishna. Just thinking of Krishna also, they derive unlimited pleasure. So Krishna is always happy. The devotees, sometimes they are put into anxiety by certain pastimes of Krishna. Krishna is always engaged in his pastimes. Sometimes they put into anxiety. When Krishna is apparently attacked by a demon, the gopis are so much in anxiety. Oh, the poor child. Danger for the child now. Or the cowherd boys, or the young gopis, anybody in Vrindavan. They are so much in anxiety. But that anxiety will not be for long. It will be very, very short time. Because Krishna is going to kill that demon. Who are the demon? Whatever shape he has come, however powerful he is, whatever form he has come, Krishna is going to kill him. So Krishna killed Trinavarta. How did he kill him? Just by holding on to his neck. That's all. That's all Krishna did. Did not crush him. He could have crushed him. He didn't crush him. He just held on to his neck. And the demon fell down crashing because of Krishna's weight. So that is the description here. Now the child was free from all inauspiciousness because the storm had subsided. The child is happily playing on the chest of this dead Trinavarta. And it's happy, it's smiling, crying, and not crying at all. Not in anxiety, not any fear. Very happy. So they also became extremely happy. Ativa modam, prapur, ativa modam. They were happy before the storm came, and then the storm put them into anxiety, and after the storm subsided, they didn't find Krishna, more anxiety, and then suddenly they find Krishna is playing on the chest of the dead demon. And when the gopis who picked him up gave him to Mother Yashoda, all the men, women, everybody was extremely happy. Labdva punah prapurativa modam. So this is description of Krishna. Ananda chinmaya rasa vigraha. His form is full of ananda chinmaya rasa. So they derive great pleasure, and they're also able to taste a very special mellow of their loving relationship with Krishna. Now, different devotees have different kinds of relationship. That's a big subject anyway. Some other time I'll describe. So I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have some announcements. On Monday, the 29th of September, tomorrow onwards, the Dasara starts. So Mysore is famous for celebrations in the palace. So in palace, we are going to perform Harinam Sankirtan on 29th September. Monday, not tomorrow, the next Monday. You can join us. It is between 6 and 7 in the evening. And Thursday, 2nd October, is the day of Vijayadashmi. We are going to have Ravan Dahan program. Vijayadashmi program. So it begins at 5:45 in the evening on 2nd October, Thursday. Rama Ashtottara, Krishna and Balaram, Utsav Vigraha will be dressed as Rama and Lakshmana and will perform Ashtottara Archana for Rama and Lakshmana. Krishna and Balaram dressed as Rama Lakshmana. Then Palaki Utsav, the Utsava deities will be taken. Ram Lakshmana will be taken to the pandal outside. And there will be an enlightening address by His Grace Madhu Pandit Prabhu. Then after that, there will be a Sankirtan. All the people who have gathered for the Ravan Dahan will make them chant, sing and dance in Sankirtan. Then there will be the final event, burning of the effigies of Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And then after that, there is, of course, prasadam for all of you. Also, on 3rd October, the following day after the Vijayadashmi, is Ekadashi. It's a very special program. His Grace Madhu Pandit Prabhu will conduct Soulful Japa Yajna. So, this Japa Yajna will consist of chanting 108 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. So this will go on from morning 5:30 to 8 p.m. How many hours is it? 14 and a half? 14 and a half hours. 14 and a half hours. Of course, you may not be able to sit through 14 and a half hours, but do come and participate whatever length of time you can participate. Please do come. And it's a very special experience that in the association of devotees, this will happen. That's the last announcement. Okay. So these are the forthcoming programs, 29th and 2nd and 3rd. Hare Krishna.